Today's mission, to share with you all the Marvel Legends figures I've accumulated in the past few months. Let's go. Hey guys, I'm John, and you're watching Old Stuff is Cool. Today, we're talking about action figures. Now, I don't talk about, the behind-the-scenes YouTube stuff too much, but when I shared with you my haul of Marvel Legends with Rogue and Wolverine from the X-Men 97 series, that's probably one of the most viewed videos on my channel, even though the majority of the time I'm talking about comic books. But I am actively picking up Marvel Legends figures. I'm still really bad about opening them because I know I want to somehow record it and share the experience with you. So I thought, why not just at least start off things by showing you everything that's come in over the past few months for the fall of 2025. Now bear with me as I'm figuring out what the best camera setup is and positioning to show you said action figures. This time around, I'm going to spin the camera around, give a nice neutral background, and just go over what's come in, what I'm looking forward to, what I like about the figures, why I picked it up, that kind of stuff. But I'd also love to hear from you as I'm sharing you all the inbox footage. I want to open these guys up. I am not an inbox collector. So if you're interested at all in me sharing my impressions after I've opened the figure up and maybe doing kind of a follow-up part 2 to this style video, just let me know in the comments. I mean, talking about comic books, talking about action figures, that's fun for me, but I also want to keep in mind what you guys might be interested in learning more about, seeing more of. So thank you so much in advance. Alright guys, so let's start with two products I got from Hasbro Pulse. These are the X-Men 97 2-packs. First one here is Wolverine and Storm. Now for a quick recap, and slight spoiler here, for the first season of X-Men 97, towards the end of the season, we get new costumes for, I believe, everyone on the team. And funny enough, even though these are updated costumes, they are instead throwbacks to the early Claremont giant-size X-Men days, which I was super stoked to see. On top of that, the classic X-Men arcade game, it's the same costumes featured in that game, which are probably my earliest X-Men memories. So the first 2-pack here is a brown and tan Wolverine, and this, I've heard great things about this figure. And then of course Storm. I mean, I have a bunch of Wolverines in my collection already, but I have 0 Storms for my X-Men display, so super happy to get Aurora in this, I don't know, in one of her most iconic costumes. And then the other item I got from Hasbro Pulse, of course, Cyclops and Jean Grey. On top of that giant-size X-Men era, this is also how I picture the characters during the classic Dark Phoenix saga. There's that cover, Cyclops and Jean, fighting for their lives. Ultimately, Jean has to sacrifice herself. These are my second figures for both Cyclops and Jean Grey, but in these iconic costumes, that is not a problem. I also wanted to throw in this purchase from Amazon, good old Maximum Series Hulk. It went on sale on Amazon back in the September, October, and I was debating to get it or not. I don't have a great Marvel Legends Hulk in my collection, so despite some of the controversy with that rubber chest, that material that they made that from, I think I'm going to chance it. And I'm pretty gentle with these guys, so we'll see how it all turns out. If I come to regret it or it rips, fairly easily, you'll definitely hear an update from me. So finally, get a good Marvel Legends Hulk in the collection here. I still can't believe this pile of figures next to me sharing with you guys, but this one is a more recent addition. This little 2-pack here from the Marvel Gamerverse. I love Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I think there's going to be a lot of overlap in my collection where I could do a nice display to feature that video game, but this one I was on the fence on, and ultimately it dropped in price at Target, and on top of that, they had a coupon. So I love a good deal, and I also need a non-broken shield, because another figure I have is the Secret Wars Captain America, who the main difference is, compared to the Gamerverse one, is a lighter blue, kind of a more comic accurate blue, but also has the scales, a very nice detail. This one is just, smooth, matte, but classic colors. Also has a good yelling head. I think a thumbs up. So I think I'm gonna wind up keeping both caps. There's a cool energy effect, and this Venom, I believe it's either a paint update, or it might have some differences from the Amazon exclusive 3-pack. It's a great Venom, but this one, this bluish hue, I'm here for it. I in my undergrad days, I played so much Marvel vs. Capcom 2 with my buddies, and I finally remember this blue Venom as much as the standard black symbiote suit Venom. So in the end, this was the right price. And if I do get tired of doubles, I have no problem moving along, so I just don't have doubles of everything lying around. I'm still not sure how I feel about figure redundancies. For comic books, I'm not one to have multiple copies of the same issue. I think I kind of fall in that direction for action figures as well. And then the rest of these figures all come to us thanks to Big Bad Toy Store, who I highly recommend. They allow you to build up a pile of loot, as they call it. So if you're ordering figures and you want to save on shipping, you can have them hold and then send a bunch of figures at once. So you're not kind of nickeled and dimed and dinged for every single little purchase you make. So I have a few of these that were marked down, either like a daily deal or just a little sale that they have on occasion. And Death's Head, I do like the character. I'm actually more familiar with Death's Head 2 during the 90s, the Marvel UK comic book. However, this character is associated with both Transformers, which I absolutely love. I picked up a trade paperback with this character's stories that I still haven't read yet. More importantly, I was won over by this packaging here. This is inspired by Marvel Universe Series 2 trading cards. This Series 2 in particular, I still have my Death's Head card, but with the power ratings and the little did you know and bio here, this series of cards was just as instrumental to me falling in love with the Marvel heroes, Marvel comic books, just as much as the comics themselves. So the fact that you give a little nod to these cards. I think there's a Super Skrull figure that came out recently that does the same thing. I'm not as tempted by that figure, but with this packaging, with this character, it was time to pull the trigger. Then as for villains go, besides Spidey and Venom, I didn't have too much, and Norman Osborn Green Goblin is a classic Spidey villain. This is another one that was marked down for a little bit. I think it's down to like $15 or something like that, even though it's a fairly new release. And it is a re-release too, I believe, this retro card Green Goblin, but he is one of my favorite villains, one of the best villains, and current ally of Spider-Man. But I had the original Toy Biz 90s Green Goblin too, so a little nostalgia for that. I just want to call out, look at those crazy bug eyes on this version. That's pretty good. And the head sculpt for Norman, focus there. I think it's pretty solid. I mean, it's hard to render those Brillo, that Brillo pad cornrow texture that he has. Yeah, Green Goblin, you love it. I love it. These last few, I should say, are all pre-orders. So that's the other thing. Besides a bunch of figures that I'll get on sale, I will pre-order ones that I really want and I'm afraid of missing out on. So X-Men 97, it's kind of the large part of my Marvel Legends collection. This is Wave 2, and we've got a wonderful rendition of the White Queen, Emma Frost. She is now heroic, but I think a common theme here is kind of going for classic versions of the character. I don't mind, maybe hunting down at some point a more modern version, a costume or uniform or clothing in her X-Men days. But to start off, this ticks off the boxes of this is how she appears in the animated series. This is how she appeared in the arcade game. And this is how she appeared when I was first introduced to the character as a villainess. So we got some more X-Men 97 coming here. I did not get the whole wave though, I will tell you that. But this version, I mean, yeah, that's an attractive Emma Frost, if that's a factor for y'all. Then we've got a character that has been sorely missing in my collection, Jubilee. I would have liked the classic 90s version. I'm sure they will probably do an updated, one of that. But this is her, Jubilee, in her new updated costume. While everyone went retro, she kind of went forward in time. She had this costume, the classic yellow trench coat, but got the black bodysuit. That's during Jubilee's vampire days. Yes, she was turned into a vampire, I think in the early, no, maybe like the mid-aughts, like 2010 or so. She was a vampire for a while. She adopted a little baby named Shogo. It was an interesting time, but Jubilee, I've really come to like. Love what they did with her moments in the second season. Some great fireworks effects. I mean, power set, maybe not the most interesting, but hey, fellow Chinese American here. There's not too many specifically Asian American characters in Marvel Comics in the MCU. So, I gotta stick up for my girl here. So got Jubilee there. And the last one I got of the second wave of X-Men 97 is your boy Cable. Classic look. This is how he appeared in the original X-Men animated series like back in 92. And one thing that people did note, and I don't think it bothers me much, is most of these X-Men 97 figures have a very flat look to it, even just like the saturation of the color. So it's more toyetic versus more comic-wise. So despite what it looks like, all these figures are in-box. I am not an in-box collector. I want to be able to play with the toys, have my kids play with the toys, display them on the shelf, do the things that you're supposed to do with toys. But Cable, very, very solid version here, as long as you're okay with a more animated look. So that is, wow, we finally did it. I've been wanting to make this video for a while. Glad to kind of find a setup where I can show you while they're in package. Let's turn the camera back around to wrap things up. Okay, and we're back. Hopefully that wasn't too painful, but let me know, guys, down in the comments below. Did you pick up any of those figures? Did you have a favorite amongst those latest pickups? I'd love to hear from you. Also, just a reminder, if you do want to hear and see my impressions after unboxing the figures, let me know down below as well. But that's gonna do it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to catch you in the next one. Take care.